First up, trash, P2020. This gun is really weak. It has a high rate of fire, but if you don't know how to click fast enough, then you're just gonna die with it every time. It's good if you get it at the very beginning and everybody has gray shields, but other than that, I wouldn't suggest bringing this around at any circumstance during the game without any hop-ups or anything. Now with hop-ups, it's a completely different story. So this hop-up is the hammer points hop-up. It makes health damage drain faster, so damage that you take towards health will be even higher. Not shields, but health. So you could do a high amount of damage to health, but if you could just click fast enough through shields, health you just destroy in a second. If this gun came with hammer points, then I would 100% put it on like B or A tier, but since it doesn't, I'm gonna just go ahead and put it on the trash. Moving on to D tier, we have Devotion. Now this gun is pretty weak for an LMG. To body it's 15, to headshot it's 23. I wouldn't suggest it for any new players to FPS games or to Apex Legends, just because it has a high amount of recoil and because it is kind of a crazy kick for the first and second bullet, but after that it's pretty easy to control, but you gotta really learn how to control those first two shots. But with this hop-up called Turbocharger, it completely gets rid of that rev up, so it's instant, and it doesn't have as much of a kick for the first two bullets either. It's pretty easy. It does have a little bit, but it's just not as bad of when you had to rev it. Just like the P2020, if you could get a turbocharger, just absolutely come with it every time, then I think I'd put it in a higher tier, in B or so, but since you can't, I don't think it's that good. Moving up to C tier, first we have L-Star. This gun is kind of hard to control too, especially since the controller and I suck, but to body it's 17, to headshot it's 26, and it's overall damage-wise, it's pretty fast kill time, but if you decide to overheat it, you gotta go through that little reload thing. Other than that, it just takes ammo directly from your inventory, and it just has an overheating system. So I mean, if you just, stop right before it gets overheated, the gun can be pretty good. Overall, I just don't think it's that good, that's why I put it in C. Number 2 for C, we have Charge Rifle. Now before you start screaming at me, just remember this is my opinion, so I mean not necessarily just how good they are to everybody else, just my opinion in general. This gun is kind of insane. I mean, all charged up to head, it's I think over 100. To body, it's 90. I mean, it's really powerful, but in my opinion, unless if you hit the whole entire beam, it's not gonna add up that damage, and you really gotta make sure that if you don't hit that beam, that you hit that last charge shot at the end. Otherwise, it's just not that good, and you gotta really know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's a decent damage farmer, but I hate when people use it. It's just so good because I'm not good with it, and I always have enemies that are so good with it, and they're beaming me from across the map. And yeah, it has no bullet drop at all, so it can hit really far targets, but the damage drops the farther it goes. So yeah. Number 3 for C, we have Mozambique. Now the Mozambique is okay damage, and it's just like the P2020. If you drop and you see the P2020 or the Mozambique, pick up the Mozambique. The Mozambique is 40 to body and 50 to headshot. It's really strong, but with hammer points, it just makes it so much better. Remember, it's to health, not shields, but with health, if you just go ahead and use that, couple headshots or something just to get the shields down, or then you just go ahead and hit the health, they're dead in an instant. I mean, in the Mozambique, I'm pretty sure, besides the EVA buff, it's the fastest shotgun. So it's really good. And I really suggest it for, quick hot drop landings, if you can find one. Yeah, I just checked. I'm pretty sure the Mozambique's the fastest shotgun. Sorry, I'm cramming words in here. I'm trying to fit it all. Next up for C, we have Triple T. I don't really know what to say about this gun. I like it. It's fun. It's cool. But I feel like I have so many more guns and stuff on S and A and B that I feel like I should just put this here. But I mean, it's a good gun. I have nothing to complain about this. It's really high damage. It's easy to use. I mean, it's decent at mid-range. I like it altogether pretty much. you know, I just think there's better. And next on C tier, we have RE45. Now this gun is earned its rightful place being on the top of C. It is really fast. It is decent damage for an machine pistol, and it's just a really good gun altogether. I think it's kind of similar to like triple take. I feel like I put so much on B and A and S. Like I feel like I think there's better than the R45. There's definitely better guns. So I mean, I wouldn't suggest running around with this all game, but it's manageable. There's better to use all game, but I'm not saying it would be impossible to run all game, especially with hammer points. I mean, this thing shreds. Moving on to B tier, first we have Prowler. The Prowler is pretty good. I like it. It's kind of harder to, well, not necessarily harder. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like this gun is really easy to use, but at the same time, I rather use other guns. I feel like kill time is kind of slower with this gun. It's pretty accurate when it comes to hip fire and when it comes to just like normal fire. The burst is pretty nice, and especially with an extra mag. This gun used to have a select fire hop-up that they took off for some reason, which could make it fully automatic. That I would definitely put in an S tier. Like, that hop-up was just that good. Like, it would have been great. I really hope it comes back someday. Next, for B tier, we have 30-30 repeater. For me, there was a constant battle between whether I thought this or the G7 was better. I finally figured it out, but this gun is really good. It has, like, this little charge thing. To body, it's like 40, and when it's charged up, it's like around 50. I think headshot is like 70, and when you charge it, it's 100 something. It's really good. I like it, but it's really good mid to long range. But I just realized that the G7 and damage and everything, I feel like it just adds up, and it's a lot faster. I just feel like it's better altogether. So that's why I put this in high or low B. Next up for B, we have Spitfire. Spitfire for this season, it got put over to light ammo. Those of you that didn't know, it's always been a heavy ammo gun, and they put it in the care package for a little bit too, but they put it in the light ammo now, and they buffed the speed, so the thing is really fast, and it is really high damage as well. I still think it's one of the best LMGs in the game. I would put it as second. I think Rampage could probably beat it now, but speed is really fast in this gun. Damage is really high. I like it. Like, it's not too hard to control either. I think it's altogether a really good gun. Next up in B, we have Havoc. Havoc was one of the weakest guns when the game first came out. Then they buffed it crazy amount, and then it was literally the best gun in the game. Like, it was way too high damage and everything. They just had to nerf it. So now, like, everybody used it once it was really highly buffed, and then they nerfed it. So not as many people respect and use this gun as much, but it's a really fun to use gun, and it uses the same turbocharger that the Devotion has, because this has a little charge up as well. It brings the turbocharger again, makes it instant shooting, so it's really strong. I like the gun, and it's fun to use, and I really suggest it for high level play as well. It's a good damage farmer as well. Next up for B, Car SMG. Heh, that rhymed. Car SMG is a really fun gun. People will probably get mad at me for putting it in such a low rank, but I mean, it's not as good as, like, I would say the Volt and R99 is. It's fun to use though. Like, I do like the gun, but the recoil is a little bit hard to use, and if some new player came around, I bet they'd be disgusted for how weird the recoil is. But after using it for a little bit, you'd go to recognize that it's not that bad, and it's a really good gun. I like it. Next up for B, EVA 8 Auto. This gun got crazy buff this season. Like, it's really good. From far range, it's not that good. You gotta be, like, really up close and personal for this gun to work. But they upgraded the damage, I think, from maybe close up. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was, like, 55, and now it's, like, close to 58. it's really strong, and people are saying it's the best shotgun in the game now because of the double tap they brought back and because of the shotgun bowl, how fast the gun actually is. I like it, it's really fun, but I'm just not seeing the best shotgun in the game. I don't see that. I do think it deserves to be the best level B tier weapon, but I don't think it's the best shotgun in the game by any means. Next up with A tier, we have R99. It's like 2 weeks later and I completely forgot I was making this video. Next up, R99. Let's see, damage output is like 11, I think it is. It's a rather weak SMG when it comes to the rest of them, but I like its time to kill. It's a really fast gun, and it definitely makes that like 17 to head and 11 to body. It makes it add up really quick, and I like it. You could definitely one clip someone and still have like 6 or 7 bullets left afterwards. So it's pretty nice. Remember that kill time thing when I was saying you still have bullets afterwards? That was with the purple mag, by the way. And this is a really good gun, I suggest. Not for maybe players that are newer because recoil, but it's a pretty good damage farmer, I think, if you could get close enough. Next up, we got Hemlock. Now, Hemlock is definitely a really good assault rifle. You got single fire and burst. It's a pretty good gun. I like it. The damage output is pretty nice. They keep nerfing the damage. I think I want to say it was like season 7 that they nerfed it. I think this thing was a powerhouse. Like, you would see, it would be like the charge rifle. Like, right now in season 14, it was like that, like, back in season 7. Like, it was everywhere. Everyone was using it. It was insanely overpowered. It was crazy, but I didn't really like it. But now, after it got nerfed, I'm rocking with it. It's really good. The damage is nice, and you could use it to mid to far range. Kind of reminds me of the R301 if you could get your hands on it and know how to use it. It's pretty good. Next, longbow. Now this thing is a beast long range. The headshot damage is 118, and I'm not sure what body is. I kind of forgot about that. I'm thinking maybe it's like 50 or 60. I like it. It's really good. I'm always running with it, and especially with long range sniper scopes and stuff. Like this thing's really good. I think it has the worst drop out of all the snipers, but you could still use it for far range. Like, I think because it has such a good drop, you could use it for some really cool shots. I like it. It's really fast bullet travel time too, so I like it. Especially with the return of the skull piercer, it's nice. Next, we got Alternator. I'm gonna have a video coming out about this one coming very soon. Damage is pretty nice. I think it's, if I'm correct, the highest damage SMG. It is really nice with the slow rate of fire and everything. Like, it's really good for close range and mid range, I want to say, if you're good enough with the recoil. I know this thing is mostly good for if you drop right on it and everybody still has gray shields. I mean, this thing just destroys shields. My tier screen broke. Anyway, next up is Wingman. Wingman is extremely powerful. To head it's 27, to body it's 45. They just recently changed it to sniper ammo. It doesn't really do much. I don't think they really changed anything about the gun. They added skull piercer back, so skull piercer on this gun is extremely powerful. Right here in this video that you're seeing, I didn't actually use skull piercer. Maybe I did. Hold up, what am I going to get? I did. Never mind. Okay, so you're going to see right now the damage, how it changes from 27 to 113. I mean, it's really powerful, and it's a good gun, but just remember to hit your shots most of the time, because I mean, it's a fairly harder to use gun, and if you don't hit your shots, it'll never work for you. Next up on B, it's Sentinel. Sentinel is really powerful, and it's pretty good. It's 150 to head and 70 to body. Did I say 150? I think it's 140. They added the Deadeye's tempo hop up to the gun just this season because they took Deadeye's tempo out, so it's like already in the gun. The gun's really good. It has not as much of a bullet drop, so you can hit pretty far range targets nicely, and it's just overall a really powerful and fun to use gun. I suggest it for new or old players. It's just a good gun. S tier weapons. Flatline. This gun is nice. Damage to body is 18. Damage to headshot it's 32. The damage does decrease depending how far you are, but I'm not really sure how many meters that is. But I know mid to far range, it's really nice. It's kind of hard to control recoil, so I mean, if you're a newer player, I wouldn't suggest picking it up, but if you're used to FPS or you're played this game for a while, go ahead and pick it up. It's really nice. It's definitely the AK of this game. And it's just like really high damage and kind of hard to control like AKs in any other game that you're gonna find. So yeah, it's really good, and that's definitely why it's #1 in S tier. Next up is Peacekeeper in S tier. It is just awesome. Like you got this one does have a little bit more range when it comes to all the shotguns in the game. It also has a little charge on it. When you aim for a little bit, you could shoot from farther range. So it's a really nice gun. I pick it up with, like, I say it pretty much goes with anything you want to use. You can run double shotguns. You can run sniper and shotgun. You can run P2020 in this if you want to. I mean, that's just how good this gun is. It could work with anything. It's awesome. I like it, and like I said, I think I pick it up with like everything. And the damage output is really nice, and it's not hard to use at all, so I definitely suggest it for all players. Next up is R301. R301 100%, like, there was no doubt. I was making this tier list, and, like, R301's the first thing that I put in S tier. Like, it is just that good. You could shoot it from long range to mid-range to close range. I mean, it is just, like, the all-purpose tool. It is awesome. Damage is pretty nice. It's not hard to control when it comes to recoil. I guess if you want to shoot from farther range, you got to be a little bit better, but when it comes to mid to close range, anybody can control it. And it's nice. Damage, not sure what it is by bullet, but I know it has a single fire, and it's really good gun, and it has a lot of ammo when it comes to it as well. So altogether, I just think it's really good. Oh yeah, and time to kill is really fast too. I just think this is my favorite weapon in the game. So altogether, yeah, I could just continue all through this video saying how awesome this gun is, really. This gun, the Volt, is definitely the best SMG in my opinion. Damage to body's 15, to headshot is 23. It is, what I say, the second highest damage, or maybe the third, because I think the car SMG is higher damage than this. But it's really easy to control too, and it's a slower fire rate compared to a lot of the SMGs. It's not like it's not as slow as, say, the Alternator is, but it's kind of slow. It's really easy to control. Damage is really nice. It's a really fast gun, and I don't know what it is, but it's really different than just all the other guns. Car SMG is faster and higher damage, just like the R99. Why pick this gun up? Why pick the R99 up? Why pick the Volt up? It's the car SMG is just better in all the ways, yet you still see so many people run the car SMG and the Volt because there's just something different about it. It just feels better sometimes. I don't know what it is, but it's just a really good gun.
I'm out of energy.
Last weapon on the S tier is the G7 Scout. This thing is such high damage. To headshot it's 60, to body it's 34. It's just a really powerful gun, and I pick it up over the triple take and the 30-30 repeater. But this is kind of like the same thing with me when I look at the R99, the car SMG, and the Volt. It's like it's just like they're all really similar, and technically the 30-30 repeater would kind of be better than the triple take and the G7 Scout. Yet the G7 Scout, I don't know what it is, it's just different. I like to pick it up. And I feel like it's kind of underrated. I feel like not as many people think it's good. People are like, yeah, I place it in high placement when I make a tier list, stuff like that. I pick it up sometimes. I feel like not as many people use it as they should. You still see people run around with like triple takes, 30-30s, or like charge rifle. It's just the G7 Scout is kind of underrated. It's really good. I don't know why not as many people pick it up. It's really high damage. It's really fast. You can shoot really long range. I know I'm missing all these shots at these targets. That's because the bullet drop is kind of bad, and I'm kind of bad. So, I mean, yeah. But the G7 Scout is just altogether really good. You really just need to pick it up and try it sometimes. Another thing to mention is that Season 14 has been out for, like, what, 2.5 weeks or so. And I've only died to the G7 Scout, I want to say maybe 4 times. Like, people really don't pick it up as much as they should. I have to do it. I have to do care package weapons. I'm lagging right here, but yeah, you get the point. The damage to head is like 280, to body it's like 140. It kind of got nerfed. It used to be insanely overpowered, but it's just not that good anymore. That's why I kind of put this on like low care package weapon tier. Nexus Bow check. This just got put in the care package. It's pretty good. Damage amount is pretty good, and it's a fairly fast weapon. Just hit your shots. It's kind of a, I don't know how to feel about this. It's not even like it's hard to use. It's just kind of a meh weapon. Kind of boring. I'm also lagging here, but yeah, this is a shotgun. It's really high damage, and I like it. There's not really much to say about this gun. Just, if you find it, pick it up and try it. It's nice. Rampage, I could easily say, is like the best legendary weapon. Like I said, I'm lagging here, just like I was for all the other clips for the care package weapons. But yeah. It's really fast damage, like thermite in it. It's really fast. I like it. It's nice. You could use it for far range too. Just pick it up 100%. That's gonna be it for this video. I know it was a really long one, and I highly doubt that anybody's actually listening to my voice at the very end of this. And if you are, I don't even lie. I know for a fact that you skipped. But either way, it was a very long video. Definitely different for me because I don't do long videos. But if you have actually watched through all of this, which you probably haven't, but if you have, thank you. And if you want more tips or something like this for maybe next season, I'll look forward to do that. Or if you just have a video suggestion, just go ahead and let me know in the comments or whatever. This feels cringy. But yeah, yeah, goodbye.